Hi guys, I'm Ange and welcome to your postnatal Pilates mat workout. So today I'm going to be running you through a series of exercises that's really going to focus on rebuilding core strength, getting that connection back into our core and our pelvic floor, and also focusing on alignment. So helping to counteract that forward posture, from feeding baby and holding baby all day long, and everything that happened during pregnancy as well, all those postural changes. So by the end of this workout, hopefully you're gonna be feeling very aligned, very connected, and energized. So if you have a diastasis recti, every exercise that we're gonna be doing today is totally safe. I do want you though to listen to your body and just don't do anything if it doesn't feel right, okay? So we're gonna need a pillow, so just something like this. And if you do have a little Pilates ball, that can come in really handy as well, but you don't need it. Okay, so let's just start sitting up nice and tall. And we're actually gonna sit on our pillow just to help us get a little bit more freedom in the hip flexors and get more of a neutral spine. And then if you feel comfortable doing so, I want you to just close your eyes and just start to think about what's going on in your body with your breath. So just breathe, take a big inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. Just a couple more times like that. Just noticing where your breath is going. Sometimes when we are feeling stressed out or maybe it's been a busy day, we can tend to breathe very shallow, short, sharp breaths into our chest and our neck, and we can have a lot of tension. So if that's you, don't judge it, just note that. And we're gonna start to move the breath down into the ribs. Okay, and get lots of nice freedom in the neck and shoulders and lots of oxygen to those muscles. So let's place our hands around the ribs, fingers around the front, thumbs around the back. And now I want you to do some really targeted Pilates breaths. So we're gonna inhale through the nose. Think about expanding the rib cage right into the hands, into the thumbs as well. Good, and release. 2 more times, inhale. And this might take a little bit to get used to, or if you're feeling very tense, it might take the entire workout before we can really start getting those deep breaths. That's okay. Just go with it. Keep trying. And eventually things are going to start to down regulate. You're going to feel a little bit more relaxed. Okay, so you can keep your hands there if you like that tactile feedback, or you can just bring hands to your knees. So now we're going to start to think about what's happening in our pelvic floor. So our pelvic floor is the foundation of our core, and it's really important to be able to get a nice release in our pelvic floor and a really nice connection. And with everything that happened during pregnancy and afterwards, with the pressure from the baby and hormones changing, it can take a little while to reconnect and get everything working. So this work that we're going to be doing throughout this workout, the breath work, the connections, the visualizations are really, really important. Okay, so don't underestimate the power of this restorative work and really try to focus on what you're doing. Okay, so let's take another breath in. And exhale. So you might notice I'm now exhaling out through a pursed lip. So I want you to think about doing that as well. Inhale into the ribs, let the pelvic floor just melt open into the pillow beneath you. And then now as you exhale, imagine a little gentle lift of the pelvic floor. Good. Inhale, release. And exhale, gentle lift of the pelvic floor. That's going to help you, along with your breath, engage your deep abdominal muscles. Everything works together. And last time like this. Awesome job. Okay, now we're just gonna start to rotate. So I want you to take your hands and bring them behind your head. Elbows are very wide. Think before we rotate about growing as tall as you can. Tall, 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 ribs stay down. We're gonna inhale, grow taller. Exhale, light engagement of the pelvic floor as we rotate one way. Keep that lifting through the crown of the head. And then inhale back to center. Good, and you can just relax and expand the pelvic floor, and then exhale, go the other way. Nice job. So I want you to imagine that you have a broomstick right through those elbows, keeping the elbows really wide. That way we're not just moving from the elbows and losing the work in our core. Okay, so we're gonna keep going like this. Feeling even weight in our sits bones, keeping our pelvis fairly still as we rotate from that thoracic spine. Good. Inhale, grow taller. You can relax and expand. Exhale, you might even imagine zippering up a pair of skinny jeans on the exhale to help get those abdominals engaged as well as the pelvic floor just a little bit more. Good, and release. Last time each way. Press your head back into your hands a little bit. And inhale, lift, lift, lift back to center. Nice job. You can bring those arms down by the sides. We're gonna pick one arm up, reach up tall, and then we're gonna exhale over. Really beautiful side bend. So while you're here, let's take one extra inhale. Imagine expanding right into those ribs, and if anything is feeling tight, that can be really helpful in that side bend to loosen up those intercostal muscles, start to get a deep breath into the ribs. Good, still engaging the abdominals. We're gonna do one roll forward, or spine stretch forward as we call it in Pilates, and then we're gonna move to the floor. So you're just gonna nod your head as you inhale, and then imagine peeling one bone at a time off an imaginary wall. Keep a connection, that zippering up sensation in the abdominals, like you're almost lifting them in and up a little bit. And then you're gonna find your pelvis, shift back and rebuild your spine one bone at a time. Gently sliding your shoulder blades into back pockets. Head is the last thing to come up. Let's do one more of those because they just feel so good. Nod the head, light lifting sensation of the abdominals, pelvic floor, zippering up. And while you're out here, I want you to try and keep a little bit of weight on those sits bones so you're not folding forward. And then take one big inhale into the back and sides of your ribs. Really imagine that expansion out to the back wall and out to the sides. Shift back, zipper up, stack the spine, keep your chin slightly tucked until the very end, and then imagine a string pulling you up to the ceiling. You're in this beautiful alignment. Take one more big breath here. Inhale, expand. Exhale, zipper up. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna bring ourselves down to the mat. So you can just put your pillow off to the side, coming down onto your side first and then onto your back. And that's really important while you're pregnant and during the postpartum season, just to really protect those abdominals and pelvic floor and help them heal. Okay, so your feet are hip distance apart, knees as well, and your feet are flat on the mat. You might wanna bring your feet just a little bit closer to your seat for when we lift our hips up into bridge in a second. We're gonna start here just by taking an inhale, making sure that we have a fairly neutral pelvis. So a little bit of space between your low back and the mat, okay? And then exhale out through your pursed lip, and you're gonna pelvic tilt. So you're bringing the pubic bone up towards you, hip bones draw up to the ribs, and your lower back comes towards the mat just gently. Inhale, expand and release. Heavy your tailbone down, find that neutral again. And exhale, starting to connect to those deep abdominals again. Inhale, release and expand, and exhale, zipper up, gentle lift of our pelvic floor, lower abdominals nice and tight. So if you're not feeling this just yet, if you're not feeling the core connection, that's okay. It can take a little while. I always like to tell my clients, just keep going with this move while I'm talking. I always like to tell my clients, the baby is in for 10 months and it takes at least that long for things to settle, and even longer if you're nursing, really. So just be patient with yourself and try not to rush this. Honor where you are in your postpartum journey and know that it's going to come. You are going to feel comfortable in your body again. You are going to reconnect to your core again. So just take it slow and really do the work every day, and you're gonna see amazing results, okay? And really, really find that you'll be glad that you did it the way that you did. Okay, so we're gonna find that neutral pelvis again, and we're gonna keep going past the pelvic tilt and start to curl the tailbone under, lift the hips off the mat. So let's inhale, exhale, use your abdominals to initiate, and then press into the feet, turn the glutes on, and gently roll one bone at a time up. Resting between your shoulder blades, your ribs are soft, so try not to pop them up and try not to arch the lower back. And then you'll soften through your sternum, lowering down, back of the ribs touch the mat, and then one bone at a time through your spine, all the way down. Release and find some heaviness in your sacrum and your neutral pelvis again. So if you have a small Pilates ball, you could put it between the knees. Okay, if you don't have a small Pilates ball, you can just fold a pillow up and do the same thing, or even roll a towel up. We're gonna do a few more of these with a little inner thigh engagement. So let's inhale, exhale, starting to curl under, pressing into the feet, squeeze the glutes gently, and a little pressure on the ball, just a little squeeze. Inhale at the top. Exhale, gently squeeze the ball, rolling down. So this little engagement of the inner thighs, gently squeezing that ball, helps connect to your pelvic floor and to your abdominals. So it's really nice when you're first doing this deep restorative core work to have something that you can get a little inner thigh engagement with when you're doing these kinds of exercises. And this particular exercise is amazing. So I would recommend that you do this as often as possible, every day if you can. Even if you just take 2 or 3 minutes and do one set of 8 to 10. Really, really amazing restorative exercise. Awesome, let's do 2 more. So again, we're inhaling to prepare, expand. Exhale, engage the abdominals to bring those ribs and hips gently together. Press the feet in, squeeze the ball gently, glutes gently as you peel the spine up to bridge. Inhale, stay. Let's think about lengthening away the whole time. Knees reaching over toes as you roll back down. Beautiful job. Let's stay here. Find neutral. We're gonna inhale, exhale, press the feet into the mat, squeeze the ball, squeeze the glutes, and just hover up just an inch or 2. Notice I haven't tucked under. So I'm still in neutral. I've got this little curve in my lumbar spine. And I'm just gonna stay here, and I'm gonna lift my right heel, lower it down. Left heel, lower it down. Keep going like this. Good, so we're working the glutes, challenging our core a little bit again. Getting a little bit of ankle articulation, and you might start to feel your hamstrings if you weren't already. Good, last one like this. And now we're gonna press all the way up and hover back down. All the way up, hover back down. Good, so if this is feeling like a little bit too much for you, you could just stay in that hover or even lower down, take a break, come back up and do those heel lifts again. Good. So this is a similar movement to the one we were just doing. We've just taken out the articulation of the spine and we're just staying in neutral the whole time. Keep pressing into the heels, gently squeeze the ball each time you exhale on the way up, and then inhale, expand, release on the way down. 2 more. Exhale, zipper up. Last one. And then we're gonna roll one bone at a time, all the way down again. Great job. Okay, you can take the ball out. If you had one, place it off to the side. And we're gonna go into a little bit of targeted core work for those lower abdominals. So we're gonna take an inhale, make sure we're in that neutral pelvis. Exhale, lift one leg up to tabletop. Good, we're gonna hold it here for a second. Make sure that we have really good stability in our core. Our abdominals are drawing in nice and tight. We're gonna inhale, tap the floor. Exhale, bring it up. So we're moving the thigh bone away from us rather than just bending the knee. So this is what we don't want, this little bend. You wanna keep the shape of the leg and just extend out from the hip. Inhale out, keep the pelvis still, zipper up, bring it up. Good. We're going for 8. We have 4 and 3, 2, nice job, you're doing great. Looking straight up, 1, bring that leg right back up and we're gonna place it back down on the floor, toe, ball, heel. Before we go to the other side, I just wanna mention if you're feeling any neck tension as you're laying on the floor, you can always put a little pillow or pad underneath your head and that might help, okay? So really important not to create any extra tension in that neck. So let's inhale, prepare. Exhale, zipper up and then lift the leg. Good, getting ready. Feeling a heaviness in your sacrum, maintaining neutral. Let's inhale, tap. Exhale, bring it up. Keep going, we have 8. So if you're noticing that you're feeling this a lot in your hip flexors, that's really normal during the postpartum season because we have to regain our core strength. And once we do this restorative work and we've got our core working again and it's healthy and functioning the way that it should, then that's gonna be a little bit better. You're not gonna feel this so much in your hip flexors, okay? So if you need to take a break, go ahead and take a break and join back in when you're ready. We're going for 8. I think we maybe have one more. I may have done one extra. That's all right. Lower back down, toe ball, heel, keeping a little connection to your center. Good, and release. We have one more thing lying on our backs like this, and then we're gonna move to our side. So if you have a diastasis recti, or you're very newly postpartum, say around 6 to 8 weeks, I want you to keep your feet on the floor, and you're just gonna do this little spine twist, just like this, okay? Otherwise, you can follow along with me for a little bit more of a challenge. All right, so we're gonna inhale, prepare. Exhale, you're gonna draw those hips up towards the ribs a little bit, bringing your low back just a little bit more towards the floor. Notice that your glutes are soft here, and you're not jamming your back into the floor. It's just a little pelvic tilt. This is called the Pilates imprint. Okay, so that's just gonna help keep us a little bit more connected and a little bit more stable as we bring both legs up to tabletop. So this is an exercise just in and of itself. And if you're finding that you're having a lot of popping or any doming or bulging here, I would say bring those legs down and do it from the floor for a couple of weeks, okay? Your arms are gonna come out to the sides. You can turn the palms to face up if that feels comfortable. And we're gonna squeeze the inner thighs together and just let the legs fall to one side. And the opposite sits bone is gonna lift just a little bit. Exhale, zipper up. Place that back of the hip back down. Inhale, other side. So this is a lot of work, even for me, and I'm 4 years postpartum. So these are not easy exercises that we're doing today. They're gentle, and if you're someone who's used to doing really high impact, flashy workouts, this might feel sort of different to you. But I really want you to understand how important this work is and how much it's going to make a difference in how quickly and how safely you can get back to your regular workouts and feel like you've got that deep connection to your core and everything's functioning the way that it should again. Okay, so never underestimate the power of this deep core work. I know I sound like a broken record, but I really believe in it. Keep going. We have 4 more after this one. Good, so we have 4 and 3. Take a break if you need, or just bring your legs down and do the rest from there. And 2 and 1. Awesome job. If your legs are up, you're gonna bring them down one at a time, toe ball heel with control. And then mindfully release, find your neutral pelvis. Awesome job. Let's just release the hip flexors really quick. Bring the feet a little bit wider to the edges of your mat. Arms can stay wide. Just windshield wiper. This is one of those moves that I could just do all day. It feels so nice. And just notice if maybe that was getting a little bit too challenging for you. Maybe some of us hold our breath and don't even realize. So just maybe take a few really big, deep breaths. And just relax. You're doing great. We're almost done, actually. We just have a couple more things left to do. And you may have baby napping, so I know you have to get in and get out so that you can get back to mom life. Or maybe baby is crawling around on the floor beside you or sleeping in their vibrating chair. That was always my favorite thing to do. Ben would sleep beside me while I did my workouts, and then as he got older, he started being a prop in my workouts, and he still is to this day. But my point is, I know you have to get through this, so we're gonna do that. You're gonna roll over to your side, and you can put your pillow under your head or just cradle your head in your hand. Okay, your legs are in this fetal position, but make sure your hips are very open. So you don't want your knees up here for this. You want a 90-degree bend in the knees, and just make sure that your feet are about in line with your seat, okay? Top hand is gonna be on your hip. And I want you to just think about pressing that hip away, lengthening out the side waist, and that's gonna help you get a little lift and connection under here. And then return. One more time, press it away. Beautiful job. Okay, making sure this hip stays stacked right over the one beneath it. And as you open the leg, you don't start to roll back. Okay, it's really important. So we're gonna press the top heel into the bottom heel as we inhale, prepare. And then exhale, we're gonna open to our clamshell. Little squeeze of the glutes. Slowly with control, we're gonna return. I've still got this nice lift under here, the length in my top side waist. Good. Exhale, open, squeeze those heels. Inhale, return. We're going for 8. We have 5. Good. And 4. Neck is nice and long. Exhale, 3. Even think about that zippering up. Gentle lift of the pelvic floor, lower abdominals, really connected. And last one. Good. And bring it down. And now we're gonna reach that leg out long, like an arrow shooting out of the hip socket, keeping that nice connection under here. Hips are stacked. You're gonna lift the leg just a little higher than the hip as we point the toe. Now dorsiflex the ankle, push through the heel, and slowly lower the leg. Good. Hand can be on the mat, or it can be on your hip if you like a little feedback so that you know you're not rolling back in space. If you want to make it a little harder, you can always lift it up. Good. Inhale as we lift. Exhale as we lower. Going for 8. I think we have about 4 more, 4 or 5. I'm going to do 4 more. 2. Nice job. Make sure you're breathing. 1, and lower it down. Nice job. I love side leg work. Hopefully you're feeling just a little connection to the side of your glute med. And we're gonna come over and do the other side. Awesome job. So close to being done. All right, so you're gonna bring those legs again back into that fetal position. Let's do that hip. Push it away gently, little lift, and return. And one more time. Hold it here, keep the lift, stack the hips. Press the top heel into the bottom heel to get a bit more glute connection, and then exhale as you open. Inhale slowly with control. Good. And 3, 4, you're doing great. 5, and 6, 7, and last one, 8, and release. That nice connection, length. Good. Make sure the hips stay stacked. We're going to take an inhale as we lift. Flex the foot, zipper up, lower down. 2, and 3. Neck is very long. Shoulders are relaxed. 5. Beautiful job. 6. It's this control that really gets those muscles and gives you those long, lean Pilates muscles that you're longing for. Good. One more just for good measure. And bring it down. Awesome job. All right, pat it out. You're going to press yourself up again. And you're just going to come into this Z sit position. All right, so if this isn't comfortable for you, you could either come cross-legged again, or you can take your pillow and just put it underneath your seat, and that's gonna just maybe feel a little bit better for you. And let's just end with a mermaid. Inhale, the arm comes up. We're moving away from the feet, over to one side, and up and over to the other side. Nice job. And then we're just gonna switch the legs, pillow back underneath that seat if that's helpful for you. And we're gonna lift up, always lengthening, getting really great alignment, then moving into that space. Alignment is so important for giving the muscles the opportunity to work the way that they're supposed to. So neutral is always what we're striving for. Good, let's do one more. Press into the mat with your hand to help you back up. And last one. Nice. And let's actually do one last thing. We're gonna sit cross-legged, and we're just gonna open up the chest a little bit. So we're gonna have our palms face up, elbows by the sides, and go into offering. We're gonna inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale, open the arms wide, reach fingertips as long as you can to the sides of the room. You can lift the heart just a little bit, but try not to arch the low back. Let's inhale here. And then exhale, connect underneath your armpits, bring the arms back in front of you and back to the start. Good, reach it out, open wide. Take an extra inhale here, lift the heart. Feel that nice stretch across the chest. Good, one more time. Open, good, inhale. Come back to neutral, really lift through the crown of the head. Good, and let's do one little roll forward just to end it off. Same thing we did at the beginning, one bone at a time. Inhale, gently connect to your center and rebuild the spine. Go as slow as you can. Be really mindful here. Think about each vertebrae. And lift the head, and you're all done. So that was your postpartum workout for today. There are so many other amazing exercises that we could do. So keep watching for some more workouts and let me know what you thought. And if you can, try to do this as many times a week as possible. You could do this every day, it would be fine to do, and I think you would notice a really big difference in a couple of weeks if you did commit to being consistent with these Pilates restorative workouts. Okay, so grab some water and enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next time on the mat.